Broken Arrow's unit customization is one of its standout features and is something that separates it from other real-time strategy games. The customization allows players to not only increase the weapon system's lethality, but also its survivability on the battlefield. These types of customizations and features are going to ensure that the battlefield is dynamic and evolving, and players will need to change and adapt to new tactics and strategies that the enemy forces present to them. With all of these different customization features, players will be able to approach tactical situations differently each time, whether they want to bring a javelin top attack missile or a linebacker anti-aircraft missile to shoot down the enemy hind. Players will be able to approach every objective in their own unique manner, and this is something that's unique to Broken Arrow. While players can ramp their lethality up to an 11, survivability is also a critical component to Broken Arrow. As you can see, smoke deployment systems, trophy systems, as well as reactive armor are all functional in Broken Arrow. Setting up ambushes is something I truly enjoy doing, and seeing that the Bradley can be equipped with a javelin missile now, that's something I'm going to be doing a lot in Broken Arrow. And lastly, the linebacker anti-aircraft missile is perfect for taking out the enemy hinds, and it was kind of unique to see that attached to the Bradley infantry fighting vehicle. It changes that platform significantly. Next up, we have a preview clip of the scenario editor that's coming to Starship Troopers, and as you can see, it's extremely detailed as they make this small little battlefield. It's really impressive that this is just a beta version of the scenario editor, and they're only crafting one small area, and you can see that it's extremely detailed. So while the scenario editor does look extremely detailed, I was hoping to see at least the objectives that you could put down and how big you can create the maps. I'm also wondering if there's going to be workshop support, because with the scenario editor, there can be a lot of longevity added to Starship Troopers. Next up, we have more Starship Trooper news, and you're going to see some fantastic gameplay of the new scenario that was added to the open beta, as well as the new units that were added to the open beta. The new scenario is called Chemical Reaction, and it focuses on the new Chemical Trooper. However, players will be able to utilize riflemen as well as combat engineers to exterminate the bugs that are currently on the planet. Players will go from room to room using both chemical warfare and flamethrowers. So fortunately for you, there is no Geneva Convention for the bugs. However, navigating the building can be quite a perilous adventure, as the range of the new Chemical Troopers is quite short. Same with the flamethrowers, so you will always be in close contact with the bugs, so you need to micro your troops quite heavily to ensure they are targeting their correct target. As players clear all 6 of the rooms, they will be provided reinforcements as they lose troops, because you are almost guaranteed to lose units, which is extremely unfortunate because I was truly enjoying the chemical warfare that has been recently added to Starship Troopers. The scenario is currently only in open beta, so you'll need to ensure that you enable that in your Steam page, and I hope to see you out on the battlefield and have fun exterminating bugs with the new Chemical Trooper on the new Chemical Reaction map. And if you watched this far, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, because we're going to space next. Sins of a Solar Empire 2 recently released into early access, and it is currently only available on the Epic Game Store for a small price tag of $39.99 USD. And I say that because this game is extremely early access, so you need to be careful with your money if you're going to purchase this game. As it currently stands for the price tag of $40, there is only one playable race and faction in Sins of a Solar Empire 2. I think that really needs to be highlighted because it is a $40 game and it's full price. Even though it's in early access, it's an extremely early, I believe, technical test build. There's only one map available. However, it can go between 2 to 10 players. Sins of a Solar Empire 2 is graphically beautiful, and it does have a unique color scheme. However, the space combat, in my opinion, at this current moment in time, is a bit lacking. It is very detailed with some of its structures. The planets are quite beautiful, and there is some fun little automation features that do decrease the amount of micro you need to do. However, the game's only been out for 2 days. There is a small roadmap that has been released. We should receive a new faction by winter 2022, so there will be 2 playable factions by the end of the year. However, the research and customization pages are quite detailed, and there is a vast amount of things you can test and try to make your gameplay and your experience quite unique. So if you're craving that unique 4X space experience and a relatively easy game to pick up, This game is available on the Epic Game Store for $40. However, it's early access and it's going to be on that game store for a minimum of 1 to 2 years if it ever does go over to Steam. Next up, we'll be taking a look at Victoria 3. So Victoria 3, the new grand strategy from Paradox, has released with mixed reviews. However, my time spent in this game has been trying to find a society that I want to build up, and a few things have stood out to me, and I'm already going to let you know what one of them was, and that was the military. And not the military in general, but a specific unit, and that was the chemical warfare unit. Victoria 3 markets itself as a unique society simulator with a deep economic system, but so far a lot of the complaints have been mainly around, well, the foundation of the game, and just calling it in general a Paradox game and telling most players to wait for patches and updates, as well as loads of DLC that are sure to follow. The game at this moment in time feels like an industrial revolution simulator. There's not much military action going on, and they've completely revamped how the military operates in Victoria 3. Players will play through a period between 1836 and 1936. While there was a lot of military evolution during that time frame, Victoria 3 at its core is primarily a societal and economic simulator. That means that your military power is not as important as your industrial power is. Players will need to navigate this new landscape and adapt to the changing tide during this period. Players will need to flex their economic muscle, they'll need to manage tariffs, create import and export rules, and determine which products create the most powerful economies in their country. However, they'll need to manage diplomatic ties as well, and that will be quite challenging for new players if they've never played a Paradox game. As of right now, Victoria 3 is an enjoyable experience, but it's quite pricey for $50, and if you've made it this far, please make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you're going to pick up any of these games.